Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar for Peer Chain and Sprockets. We're today going to meet Drew Beadle's leadership team. In the previous webinar, we met Drew. Drew is still with us today, and we're going to be talking with him, but we're going to have a chance today to meet the rest of the leadership team. My name is Richard Haddon. I'm a professional speaker and author, and last year I met Danny and Glenn Spungen. They heard me deliver the keynote speech at a conference just about a year ago, and we've been talking ever since. And so they asked me if I would moderate this session for them today. My area is on companies that create great, extraordinary cultures. And of course, if you know anything at all about Peer, you know that that is an organization that has an extraordinary culture. So that's what we want to talk about today a little bit with the leadership team and learn a little bit more about each of them and also about the culture that makes Peer Chain and Sprockets so unique and such a great company. So we have in front of us there, you'll see on the far right of the screen, we have Andrew Hong, who is the Director of Supply Chain. And to his right, then we have Jeremy Fogo, Vice President of Strategic Alliances. Next to Jeremy, I want you to say hello to Kevin Shrout, Vice President of Sales. And then on Kevin's right is Drew Beadle, whom you met last time at the last webinar. He's the president, relatively new president of Peer Chain and Sprockets. I want to jump right in and ask you guys each a question. I mean, one of the things that I think sets Peer Chain apart and makes it unique is on the back of everyone's business card, you have something that says, "Who am I?" Just real quickly, each of you, would you read from that and tell us? So I'm going to start with Kevin Shrout, VP of Sales. Kevin, based on what's on your card, who are you?
Yeah, thanks, Richard. Good morning, everybody. My card is really centered around my major interests, and I'll share with you a couple of them. The first one is 63C, which is a story in and of itself, and then I've got Cinquanon and Redwoods. And my passions in life, I'm a devoted foodie, and I'm really committed to men's communities and helping men do work and achieve their goals in life. And my sweet spot when I'm really living in my flow or essence is when I can combine those two and celebrate meals with the communities that we're building. And that really will clue you into kind of my levers and what makes me churn and
I love that. There's really something about breaking bread with people, isn't there? That helps, I think, build those relationships. What's the 63C about? You gotta tell us more about that.
All right. Being a foodie, I'm also a devoted noodle head. So I love noodles. And 63 is the perfect, I am going to say perfect, the perfect temperature to cook a ramen egg. So if there's any people who love ramen out there, 63C will get you dialed in on your eggs.
Oh, wow. You have just helped scores of college students all over the place. Thank you, Kevin.
2 and 3 feet around for that advice.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Kevin, thank you. Andrew, tell us about your Who Am I card. Who are you, Kevin? Andrew?
Oh, thank you. As you said, my job title is Director of Supply Chain. Apart from the job, so who am I? First, I'd like to mention I truly value relationship. Okay, I feel very happy from if I have a good relationship from the people I care about it.
Yeah.
So when those relationship turns bad, it's deeply affect me. Okay, I'm serious about that. Second one, I try to mention I passionately for learning. Okay, I can give you an example. Probably is driven by my inner curiosity. 30 years ago, my wife created a picture of me. So I take a closer look about the picture and notice all my hair is made up entirely by the question marks. So I still have that picture in my book, so I'd really like to share.
Oh, that's great. I wish we could do a close up there and see all the question marks all over your head. But I just looking at you, Andrew, I see question marks all over the place. So I know you'll love to learn. That's a
You know,
great
my
example.
parents now.
But Andrew, I don't think you've changed in the years that photo. You're still look the same, right?
In 30 years, yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Jeremy, tell us about you. Who are you based on your Who Am I card?
Sure. Thank you, Richard. I'm Jeremy Fogo, Vice President of Strategic Alliances here at Pure Chain. And a few highlights outside of my career here at Pure Chain is I'm an avid car enthusiast. So I appreciate cars of all nature, but most specifically, I dial in and zero in on classic 1960s and 70s American muscle cars. So if it's nice
Oh,
weather, you can see me, at a car show or event and enjoying, time there. And then secondly, and I'm not saying that I have a favorite place on earth, but if I do go missing, or you've lost me, there's a 90% chance I'm at Disney. My family enjoys traveling to Disney, and my wife will orchestrate what seems like a military operation as far as our schedule, but it's a good thing. And we just feel like, we can be real kids there, and probably more so than the rest of the family. I'm the big kid. So we really enjoyed that. And as just a little side note, I was happily married at Disney many moons ago.
very
So thank you,
good, very
Richard.
good. Yeah. So Disney, the happiest place on earth, and Pier Chain and Sprockets, the second happiest place on earth, right? So
Absolutely.
you're always in a happy place. Great.
That's right.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Jeremy. Hey, Drew. Now, last time during the last webinar, we heard a little bit about you, but I understand you were holding out a little bit on us, and you've got more that you can share from your Who Am I card. Tell us more.
Richard, I think last time we talked a lot about horse racing and my horse. So this newest one I'll share is MLB plus Parks. And the reason for that is I would say 8 or 9 years ago, I made a personal challenge that I would attend all the ballparks, right? And
Yeah.
oh, what a great clip I went at. We were cruising through the Midwest, and then COVID and some other things happened. And
Yeah.
so I think it'll be a really lifelong aspiration. Probably take my whole life to continue to check them off. But that's one of the notes on my card is MLB plus Parks.
Great. Yeah. So how many more have you got to go?
Oh, nearly all of them.
Okay. All right. Well, you're young enough. You'll be able to get there for it. Good. All right. Good. Excellent. Well, good. Well, gentlemen, like I said, I have known of Pure. I mean, Pure Chain is legendary. I knew about Pure Chain before I ever met Danny and Glenn, and it's legendary for its culture and for the things that draw people to it. I'm curious about what inspired you guys to join the company. You all have, I mean, companies like this, or people like you guys. You have a lot of choices. Talented people have lots of options, and each of you chose Peer as the option that you would choose for your career. So let's start with Kevin. And Kevin, what inspired you to join Peer? You had a lot of choices. What inspired you? What made you say, "I'm going to come and work for this organization"?
Yeah, thanks, Richard. It was a couple of things, right? During my interview with the family and the leadership team here, a couple of things stood out. One was Danny and I had a very spirited discussion about sales process and a few other things.
I can believe that. Yeah.
So, and we managed to stay on track, which is in and of itself an amazing feat. And 3 days later, I go to the mailbox and I pull out an envelope. It's covered with stamps from countries and different values and everything else. And I open it up, and it was a handwritten card from Danny. And it referenced the topics we had talked about. And so I interviewed on a Wednesday. That was a Saturday. Sunday, a fruit basket shows up at the house with a very nice note from the family. And then Monday, one of the other team that interviewed me wrote me a note. Chuck Briere sent me a handwritten note expressing his interest in me as a person. And that really just nailed the culture for me. Like, right, they're not just talking the walk; they're walking.
Yeah,
it's going.
Yeah. Wow. What a great way to distinguish yourself as an organization? Because I mean, a lot of organizations interview a lot of people for a lot of important roles, but something like that, personal handwritten note. And of course, anybody who knows Danny knows he's a stamp collector and he loves all those stamps. I'd love to have seen what that envelope looked like.
It was covered.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, that's great. Thanks, Jeremy. I mean, what about you? I mean, you've been at Peer for a long time. You've joined them and now you've grown. What inspired you to join the company all those years ago?
Sure, sure. Yeah, Richard. So in summary, my initial takeaway from here in the very beginning was I really, really felt like the passion and the energy, like from the very beginning, and it was really inspiring to me as I came on board 28 years ago, and through those first interactions with the peer team and leadership team, I could really see that Peer Chain was unique. It wasn't just a workplace; it really felt like a community.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was growing up, our family was really close, and I really valued the sense of connection and commitment. And I really hadn't seen or experienced that same type of feeling in the workplace. So 28 years ago, it was really refreshing to see that same bond at an organization or a family like it is here at Peer Chain. So to me, it was very clear this was going to be much more than just a job. It was really like an extension of the same values that I grew up with, and over the years, it's only grown stronger and kind of inspires me, really every day to, keep things moving in that same direction. So thank you, Richard.
Jeremy, there was
28 years ago. So I'm going to ask you to reach back into the recesses of your memory. Was there a specific experience or something in particular that made you realize back then, 1997, that this was the right place for you?
I would say that as a whole, from the leadership team to the department managers, I was inexperienced within the industry, and just the level of, hands-on, close interaction and guidance and support from every one of those areas wasn't like anything I had ever seen. So, everybody wanted you to be a success, and they provided everything that was necessary to be a success.
Great. Yeah. Cool.
I got a question for Jeremy on this add-on, right? So when we were celebrating your 25th anniversary of being here, you shared a story that I think cemented your destiny on why you should be at Peer Chain on your first day. Can you share with everyone what happened your first day at Peer Chain? Yeah, sure. So the very first day I started with Peer, I was getting ready to come to Peer for my first day, and the chain on my garage door decided that it was going to fail or break that day. So garage door came down, missed the car, but I was welcomed with a chain just spread across my windshield and over the whole car. So it was, I guess, my destiny to work with chain, because I was going to have to go home and fix this. So I couldn't have been more proud to go to work the first day, come home, and actually fix the garage door operator. So it was my omen. I was in the right place. So thank you.
Yeah, you got to look at those things as a sign, don't you?
Yes.
Amen.
Good. Hey, so Andrew, let's get you involved in this kind of origin story question, because yours is a little bit different. I know that your journey with Peer and with the Spungen started about 12 years ago, and you were at another company you had met, and you were working with Danny and Glenn at that company, and you knew within a really short period of time that their values and your values were a match. So then fast forward a few years, and last year in 2024, you found yourself with a golden opportunity to choose where you were going to spend the next part of your career. And just like these other guys, you had a lot of choices, but you chose to come back and work with the Spungens. You chose Peer Chain and Sprockets, and it was no small deal for you. It was a big deal. You moved from Pennsylvania, and I mean, a lot of changes had to take place. Thing that I wonder about is what made you take that risk?
Okay, actually, the short answer is not a risk.
It wasn't a risk. You knew, huh?
It's a not risk. Okay. I'd like to mention a little bit more about this complicated process in a simple way. Okay. Yes, I joined the peer a decade ago. Okay, so then this peer bearing is not a peer chain. Then peer bearing was acquired by SKF company.
Hmm.
So after I left SKF 7 months ago, a friend of mine introduced me to Dennis Bungin.
Yeah.
Uh, I met Danny twice in the past. Probably he forgot about that. But I don't know him well.
He might
For
have
sure.
forgotten it, but you never forget meeting Danny.
Yeah. Uh, but I don't know. To be honest, I don't know him very well. So what I knew, what the most I knew him is from the stories shared by peer colleagues. Okay.
Yeah.
So finally, we had a call. I was in Philly. He was in Chicago. It's after the business hour. He was on the way to a dinner appointment. So he called me in the car.
Hmm.
So I started to tell him about what is my strength, what I care about the business, and what's my long-term goals. And
Yeah.
he seems very excited to hear from me. Okay, and he
And so
started.
that kind of led to you knowing that this is really the place. This was the place for you.
It's not that moment. Okay, let me finish it. Okay.
Okay.
So we got excited talking about people, culture, and also talk about the challenges peer chains facing right now. It seems a
Hmm.
very good match. But he also mentioned Andrew, it's a gamble. It's a gamble for both sides.
Yeah.
It's a risk for you. I said, the more you talk about risk, the more I get excited. Okay. So the real moment is coming. Okay. Now he suddenly said, Andrew, I have to stop here because now it's time for my dinner time and I get lost. I don't know where I am. I have to stop here. Wow, I said, okay, that's the moment I made up my mind. Yeah, that's the company, that's the passion I'm looking for. I started from there. Okay,
Wow.
I hope the story I shared is really make sense for you and for the audience why I decided to join this
Yeah. So it wasn't just a vague notion that maybe this is someplace you wanted. There was something specific that really
company. Yeah,
drew you in.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really like an inspiring moment. The
That's
passion I
great.
see and the honest, the
Yeah.
openness, from the family owner.
That's a great story, Kevin. I think you have a similar story. There a specific moment, something that happened that made you really kind of cemented your belief in the peer way, something that made you proud to be a part of this team.
Yeah, yeah. So I joined the team and was surrounded by a great work group. And yeah, I knew the family really believed in relationships, and everybody else did. And within 6 months of joining Peer, my brother passed,
Oh,
and it was a tough time for our family.
sure.
And what really just hit me so hard was the way the team gathered around, supported me, and it went way beyond a work group. We throw the word family around a lot, and I
Yeah.
felt that level of care, support, and commitment from the group around me, and that's when I knew this is where I want to retire from.
Wow. You don't forget things like that, do you?
No,
And,
sir.
and you're probably not going to get that everywhere you go. Wow. Cool. So, um, another thing, Kevin, you've talked about Peer as a company that puts people first, not just customers, but and as you just described to us, employees and so forth. What about from the customer side? What does that look like in action when we say that Peer is a company that puts its customers first? How does that? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think we filter all our decisions through that
Yeah.
stakeholder lens of what's the best thing for
Hmm.
all our stakeholders. And during the pandemic, there was craziness, the supply chain, and everything else. And the one guiding light or that principle that was always appear was we take care of our loyal customers,
Hmm.
and that's our first responsibility. So there was opportunities to maybe make some quick quick sales and capitalize on the turmoil in the marketplace, and we remained relentlessly focused on serving our existing customers because they're what have built the business and they're part of our success moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. Cool. All right, well, let's go back to Andrew for a minute, talking about customers. One of the things that we've talked about, Andrew, is you said that Pier's approach is to be obsessively customer focused. And I mean, I know, for instance, that the team earned for 15 years consecutive John Deere Supplier Partnership Awards, that kind of thing. Tell us just a little bit briefly about what this looks like for you, that obsessive customer focus.
Yes, thank you for asking me the question. Yes, the customer centric is my strong philosophy to doing the business. I still like to mention the experience I had in the peer bearing. Like you said, John Deere was one of our big customer. We truly prioritize, John Deere's needs, whether it's a quality requirement or delivery expectations. I can
Hmm.
give you a good example. That was a moment we had an urgent order. Okay, so we shipped the order by boat, it's too late. Even we ship by air, it's also too late. You know what happened next? We hand carried this from China factory to the United States. Then we didn't let the production line shut down. This is a true story. We have many other stories. As a result, that's no wonder we had a 15 years supply partner award, consecutively, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
mean,
believe,
getting it one time you could be seen as a flash in the pan, but 15 times, that
yeah,
really
it's that must be something behind this. I
yeah.
don't know Pierre Chen very well, but I just been here for 7 months. I'm sure Jeremy has a similar story or experience. The customer centric, why customer is so important.
Jeremy, I want to go back to you for just a minute again because I'm so impressed with your longevity here at Peer. The latest research that I've seen shows that average job tenure is about 3.9 years for people. Well, you've exceeded that many times before. And so tell me, have things changed? What is it that has convinced you to stay for so long? I can understand why you were encouraged to join the company, but what has convinced you to stay for all these years?
In summary, I've always been someone that enjoys, a good, fruitful challenge, and
Yeah.
it's been rewarding to also see that peer likewise is up for those challenges. So being in the power transmission industry, we're facing a lot of interesting, different, complicated things, and part of my reason that I've been here for so long with the longevity is that we've welcomed those challenges and we've worked collectively as an organization and as a team to really divide and conquer, for our customers, and really serve those needs. So always being in a position to be supportive and helpful to customers, and that's just kind of in my nature. And I really enjoy those challenges, and so does Pierre. And that's one of the main reasons that I continue my longevity here.
Great. Great. Thanks. Let me just issue another reminder to our audience that we'll have some time at the end for some questions and answers. So please type in those questions and we'll be able to talk with the team about that toward the end. One of the things, Andrew, that you mentioned to me was that Pier's culture is built on mutual trust. I'd like to hear from really all four of you, including Drew. Just have a conversation with us here about how that trust shapes your experience and the experience of everybody else who works at Pier. Can one or two of you tell us a story that really illustrated that trust?
You want to start?
Oh,
You want
you
me to-
can kick it
yeah,
off.
I can kick off for this. This is a very important topic, and it's my strong belief. A key factor for business success. From the day one when I joined the company, in the earlier of October, I spoke this idea, not idea, it's a belief, with shared with Drew. I told him a true story. I was appointed as IT program manager. It's IT. What I meant, IT is a ERP implementation program manager. If you look at my resume, I have zero experience for IT. Okay, but I have the basic understanding about the computer and also the
Sure.
network. So they really hired me is because of my leadership and my ability to get the job done. Okay, I think they trust my leadership. And from my side, I trust the company will offer me the enough resources, all the experts. I'm not expert in the specific field, right? And also give me the space to do the program.
Yeah.
What happened after a few months, I'm very successful deliver that program and receive a high recognition from the company, all the top leaders. So that's a really story. So if you have as a foundation, that things will happen.
Yes, excellent, great.
The reality is our customers are facing the exact same challenges that we are. So we as an organization can exist in a silo and solve them alone. Or, transparency, collaboration, having open conversations, we can work together, and typically we come up with much better solutions than what we would have thought on our own. So it's there's a lot of history and examples we could talk about, but it's more telling our customers, like, we're open, we want to listen, we want to share our problems, so we can get your feedback, we can learn on how you solved it, and that can help us collaborate and drive improvements.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's right. And go ahead.
I was just going to say that extension to the customer of being open. We come to them and say, hey, this is the challenge we're facing. This is going to be a challenge for you. How do we work collaboratively?
Yeah.
And each of the leaders in this room is empowered to do that. And we always know that we've got a team that's shoulder to shoulder with us to deliver on that promise and deliver that plan.
Yeah. And by extension, isn't it true that you do the same thing with your employees, that you don't just make these decisions unilaterally as a leadership team, that you go to your employees and say, hey, you're the ones closest to what's going on. Help us. Let's talk about how we can solve these problems. You do that.
Yeah. Right. I mean, they're the boots on the ground. They're the ones talking. If I make a decision behind a computer screen, that's easy, but the long-term consequences could be really negative, and that's not a direction or a drive of the company we want to take it.
Yeah.
And I'll just add, Richard. Drew mentioned the word transparency, and it's not uncommon for many of our customers to comment that PureChain is ahead of the curve, in looking out for the best interests of ultimately what our customers' needs are. So, and that's really always been a principle of ours. So, and that really establishes, we feel, great trust, back and forth between customers and Pure.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, wow, it does. Well, there's a lot of good stuff going on at Pure, but I think we have to acknowledge that there's some challenges and some things to be looking at in the year ahead. In the next webinar, we're going to tackle the whole idea of the trade issues, trade wars, and tariffs and so forth. So we'll kind of put that to the side for this conversation. But I'd like to kind of start to wrap things up. I mean, look at this, our time has moved on quickly, but kind of start to wrap up by hearing from each of you on maybe what is a goal or objective and a challenge that you see coming up, aside from the trade war challenges. Drew, could we start with you?
Yeah, that's funny, goals. Our vision that we kind of established under my leadership was really to continue to be the most customer-centric power transmission company out there. And this team did a lot of work to sit down, review a lot of the feedback we've gotten from our customers and additional external parties, and develop goals. And then January hit, and I'd say our goals went out the window.
And I think that talks about how nimble and agile the organization can be.
Right, and you hit on a big point of it. A lot of what we've really been dealing with is consuming our time has been the trade discussions, which we're looking forward to next month digging into that. So again, we'll table those types of questions. But one of the challenge I would say is that we struggle with is, that line of transparency and forthcoming and keeping the orders on the books when we're dealing with these tough conversations with customers. Hey, this is what the cost of goods was. This is what it is today. How can we help maintain that relationship, keep the order, keep them in production, and still, just be seen as that truthful, transparent company? That'd be my one. So
Yeah, and I think so much of this has to do with your history with these customers because you've built up a strong trust account. If you didn't have that relationship, then they might not accept what you're saying. But I think because you have, they do.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just to echo kind of Drew's point, our selling team, our attaches, we have relationships that have been built over decades in many
Yeah.
instances. And with the level of talent that we have today, upskilling and recruiting new talent is one of the challenges that we face on a recurring basis. And it makes it a little bit easier for us because that culture story is so relatable and it's so attractive to new talent. So it's an opportunity as well as a challenge in the market we're in today.
Yeah, on the staffing front, yeah, and of course, yeah, that's not getting any easier. But clearly, I mean, the whole purpose of my work in the last 25 years has been that organizations with cultures like yours have a much easier time recruiting and retaining and developing great talent. So I think that you're just you're proof of that right away. Andrew, what are maybe a goal and some challenges that you see in your area? And I know in supply chain, the conversation is naturally going to go to the trade issues, but besides that, what other challenges might you be expecting the next year?
Yeah, next year or this year, this is very clear for me. Today I see the world, the competition is not company to company. In my perspective, I see this supply chain to supply chain. Each
Yeah.
company has their own supply chain. And for a peer chain company, our supply chain is facing, extraordinary, difficulty because the tariff and geopolitical risk. So one of my goal for this year is try to rebalance the supply chain, either resourcing in another country to reduce the risk, or I'm doing something like doing the regionalization, depend on which product line make more sense. So I have a goal, make at least one product line to localize in North America region, try to reduce this geopolitical risk.
Okay, and again, the peer way, it puts you in a much better position probably than some of your competitors to do that. Jeremy, what about you?
Sure, Richard. So one of our 2025 goals and into the future is to expand our strategic footprint. So that incorporates existing strategic accounts and develop of new strategic accounts. And the challenges that come with that are more in the arena of like tailored solutions, which we welcome those challenges as we look at different products, special products, both chain and sprockets. So as we move forward, those are some of the goals on the strategic side of the Pure Chain Company that we're very excited about and looking forward, with our team as we grow to develop that further in support of further growth for the company.
Okay, great. I've got one more question before we go. We're going to see what questions we have from the audience, and then we're going to start to wrap up. But I just, not only do you guys talk about a great experience joining the company and a great experience working there, what do you think? And I'll open this up to anyone on the panel. What do you think your employees love so much about working at Pure Chain? Anybody?
Yeah, I said it to somebody yesterday. I said when you join Peer Team, you're joining a team of equals, and I think one of the most notable things is the absence of egos when you walk through the door.
Yeah.
Everybody's contributions are valued. everybody's voice is heard, and it really is this level playing field where everybody's free to contribute in their strength area. And that doesn't happen in a lot of places.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah. And my sense is that it's also a really fun place to work, right? Can somebody talk about that?
Yeah, we certainly like to make it fun. Like to keep the humor around. Danny, one of our principals, added a orange VW van that we like to take guests around. I think that's actually going to be on Jeremy's business card next on the Who Am I? VW bus repairman. Because it's also come with some challenges. But yeah, we like to keep it lighthearted, keep the employees engaged, and it's we only have so much time, right?
I know, yeah.
To have fun at work. It's not, you don't want to hate coming or dread coming to work. That's not the company we want to lead.
No, nobody wants to be in that, and you don't have to be. So that's great. Anybody else?
Yeah, well, Richard, kind of is a symbol of our growth. I'm gonna, highlight Danny Spungen, and he came to work one day dressed as a tree, as a symbol of the growth and the growth that the Peer Chain has seen and will continue to see. So Danny being a tree for the day, for all of us to witness and seeing that tree grow. Yes, it was very fun and welcoming.
Oh man, yeah, that's the kind of place I want to work. Yeah, I can just imagine. Somebody needs to send me a picture of Danny dressed as a tree. So yeah, I'm. You guys have done such a great job in answering and talking about what's going on here. I'm wondering from our marketing facilitators if we have any questions from anyone in the audience, and I don't see any yet. So. There's no need to belabor that. I mean, I think you guys answered and told so much and shared so much with this. I'd like to kind of turn this over to Drew Beadle, the president of Peer, and ask you, Drew, to just kind of wrap up with some challenges that you see and anything else. And then I think you have some special guests that you're going to introduce.
Yeah. Well, Richard, thank you very much for taking the time today and moderating the webinar.
Oh, this has been great fun. Thanks.
It's been good, lively conversation. Just the important thing to echo is that, Peer Chain, we're here. We're constantly fighting for our customers and all our stakeholders to find better ways to do our processes, find better products to offer, and really improve our manufacturing. There's been a lot of challenges that are happening now with the supply chain, and one of the things that we're looking at that Andrew brought up is that regionalization. Where do we employ globalization and supplying of products versus what can we do here to get these services and products to our customers quicker? So it relies on our feedback from everyone to help bring the ideas together and again drive that collaboration. So I think I see a list of questions now, so we can probably ask.
Oh yeah, let's jump to that.
Easy one. Gosh, Jeremy, this one's for you. Are you ready for it?
So,
what is your absolute favorite classic car?
Okay, so if you've seen the movie Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage, you've seen what would be my car of my dreams, which is a 1967 Mustang Shelby GT500. So I would say that would probably be my car of choice if I were able to ever experience one in my lifetime. That would be wonderful. Great question. Thank you.
Yeah. So I see another
we'll
one.
keep an eye out for you, Jeremy, and let you know.
Thank you. I might have to just admire it from a distance. But yes.
I see another one here, and oh gosh, I got to do this one because we were talking somewhat about it earlier today. But what are something people outside the company would be totally surprised to learn about the team or the culture? Well, in my 6-year tenure, one of the more surprising conversations was that we like to hold races on who has the best 40-meter time. Now, what I've been told is that the winner's sitting at this table, right? And I'll let you guys guess who it is, but I think that might have to be another, we might have to have another re-challenge on who's got the best 40-meter time.
it wasn't me.
Are we taking guesses? I'm going to guess Kevin.
Oh, no.
My legs are moving fast
Yeah, I
on
think
this table right now.
Jeremy's, it's between Glenn and Jeremy, I've been told, but I think we're going to have to revisit that one.
Great. Yeah. Okay. I think we have time for maybe one more question. And the one that I see says, what do you feel makes Peer stand out to its customers and employees? If we can close with that, and then we'll move on to meeting a couple of folks that Drew is going to bring on.
Yeah, gosh, what makes us stand out? Again, it's just that the drive to be the most customer-centric company. We want to work with our customers. We want to make sure that we're delivering products and services that they want. In general, there are a lot of people saying the same things, right? So what makes us stand out and do difference? And that's where we really lean into the relationship. We're a 55-year-old company. We have the quality. We've been in business for years. People wouldn't be coming back to us for that reasons. So how can we drive deeper bonds? How can we drive more value to our customers and really making sure they're getting the product they want, the quality they need, and the product on time?
Yeah. Well, and from my point of view, it's all about the culture. So, Drew, who else do we have to speak with briefly?
So the last part here, I think they've been listening patiently in the sideline. I'd like to invite Glenn and Danny over to see if they have any last words or anything that they want to recap.
Always have.
There they are.
I'm never shy or bashful in front of a camera.
Yeah.
But I guess the main thing I would say is you can see from this webinar, we have an extremely strong leadership team. So therefore, it allows us to work on, Danny, myself, it allows us to work us on the big picture of the company. So you're talking about product expansion of chain and sprockets, value-added services. That's what Drew's working on. So the future is just in great hands, and we're excited. We're experiencing major growth in the past, but now we're expecting it to go from this level up to this level with this management team.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me in this transition, because Glenn and I are in transition, we must let the next generation go and let them run. I'm actually happy just getting back from another conference that I don't have to deal with all this AI BS. I mean, I want to live in a physical world. The physical world, I want to represent the second touch, our culture. We know we have to have AI. We have to live in the cloud. I know it. I understand we're investing all our money in the digital world, the cloud. Not everything is AI. Thank God it's not for me. And on that note, I will say, Richard is wearing a tie, and he commented earlier on today, how come I don't have a tie? That's because I had to dress up with the family, right? We're all dressed the same.
I did this because I wanted to look like Danny Spungen.
I know, it kills me. I'm not wearing a tie.
That's no honor.
I can tell you that right now. But that's part of the second culture. Having you wear a tie, Richard, is pretty cool. And that's something I like to do, be consistent. But again, the transition is so critical. We must move forward. And Glenn and I must be ambassadors for the company. We must go over to the factories more often. We must be at every single trade show. And that's what we're going to be doing. We have to leave the day-to-day business to the next generation.
And the key thing is you can tell from the leadership team, they have the culture, they have the values, and we're in great hands.
Well, folks, this has been a great joy for me. I just want to thank Drew and Danny and Kevin and Glenn and Jeremy and Andrew, and thank everyone who was in the audience, and also thank those of you who are watching the recording. I want to make sure that everybody understands the opportunity to connect with PeerChain. Just go to peerchain.com, peerchain.com. You can find a sign-up section there for PeerChain's email list. And also, don't forget to connect with PeerChain on LinkedIn. So, do we have one more slide image to show before we close out?
Oh, yeah. We don't have the picture.
Okay, no, we were going to do that, but I think what we have right here is the perfect picture of the Peer team. So thank you again, everyone. I'm Richard Haddon. Be sure to join on the next webinar, which will again deal with the trade issues. Thank you again from everyone.
Serious. Okay, much more serious, and we're going to be focused.
Yes. And our story will probably be different in days.
Yeah, so stay tuned and join us then.